All right, we are good. In just about a minute, we'll go ahead and kick it off.
Perfect. Give me 1 sec too to pull up stuff on my end.
LaPrey, are you able to start the webinar?
Is it not already started? What do you mean?
Oh, I think it is started. I'm just not sure. I don't see the button.
Okay, yeah, it should be started.
Okay, great.
And we're recording now too, so we should be good. And people are starting to come in now. So give it a few minutes just to let people come in, but we're recording so we'll start like maybe like 12:01.
Okay, I'm ready whenever you are. And you're gonna kick us off, right?
Yes, I'll kick us off, yep. Good morning, Deja. Is it Deja Darrington? Good morning to you also. And good morning, those of you all that are just joining. We're going to get started in about 45 seconds. Thank you all for your patience. Good morning, Natasha from cold Las Vegas. That doesn't sound right, but I heard the weather is a little chilly out there. Evelyn, good morning to you as well. All right, I think we should go ahead and get started to make sure we don't go too much over time and save some time for Q&A. So with that being said, make sure my video is showing. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is LaPrey George. I'm the Senior Director of Chapters, Members, and University Relations here at the headquarters of the National Black MBA Association. Well, we are fresh off of our 43rd annual conference. Hope that you all had a chance to join us in Chicago this year or virtually, because we did have a hybrid conference this year. An amazing event all around, given the feedback we've received thus far. Hopefully you all did have a chance to attend either virtually or in person, the career fair piece of the overall conference. But for those of you that didn't, or even if you did, very happy to welcome our partners at Dominoes to today's webinar to host today's event. As you know, the big part of our conference is our career fair and you being able to have an opportunity to visit some of our corporate sponsors to talk about an internship or full-time position. And this type of webinar allows you to kind of pick up from where you may have started at the conference, or if you didn't get a chance to connect with as many companies as you like to, these types of events gives you a second chance, if you will, to engage in a more direct way with some of our corporate partners. Keeping in line with our vision to really empower our members and the visionaries that are a part of this association, these types of webinars really allow us to provide an added member benefit to be able to give you this close contact with a partner such as Domino's. So with that, I will stop talking and turn things over to the experts that are on hand with us today. And with that, I would like to introduce Tamara Coleman, who is with Domino's, and she will kick off today's presentation.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear and see me okay? Is that a yes?
Looks like a yes.
All right, perfect. So welcome to a career crash course presented by Domino's. We're excited to connect with each of you today and give a career crash course facilitated by us. I'm Tamara Coleman, Manager of National Advertising. Chris Johnson, Supply Chain IT Analyst, will also be helping to facilitate this course today. If you can take me to the next slide. I don't know if I saw the slide change. There we go. All right. So Chris and I are here because we're leaders of an ERG at Domino's. For additional context, employee resource groups, ERGs, are employee-led that foster a diverse, inclusive workplace that aligns with the core values of the organization. The BLISS ERG at Domino's stands for Black Leaders Innovating, Strategizing, and Succeeding. I am the chair of the ERG and Chris leads internal development. Next slide, please. So to give more context, I wanted to share our mission statement with you guys. So we are industry leaders seeking to create a safe space where constructive dialogue can occur and we can understand the unique lived experiences of people who are Black or of African descent at Domino's and the neighborhoods we serve. We are here to advocate for employees that identify as Black or of African descent and help attract and nurture the development of diverse talent, contribute to the communities we serve, and encourage an understanding of the needs of the Black community while staying true to Domino's values. So why is this partnership important? Connecting Bliss and the National Black MBA Association is important, and we believe that the priorities at Domino's are aligned with the strategic focus of professionally developing and empowering members of the National Black MBA Association. This partnership also aligns with the Bliss mission of contributing to the communities we serve. I'd also like to add that I am a proud graduate of an HBCU via Southern University. So this is extremely important to me. Next slide, please. So today's agenda will take you through information about the brand, what we offer to undergrad and graduate students, a look into the hiring manager's perspective, and lastly, provide some resume and interview tips. And of course, leave it open for any questions at the end. So who is Domino's? Domino's is an innovative and growing brand that started its history over 60 years ago. But we continue to be a work in progress brand. In 2008, our customers told us that our pizza wasn't the best and it tasted like cardboard, which led us to making our pizza better. This type of feedback we had posted around our kitchens. So the image that you see, Domino's Pizza, we make our pizzas and our boxes out of the same material, that's feedback that our consumers were giving us. So we posted it around our kitchens to ensure we addressed the feedback head on. And then we responded with transparent, uncommon honesty. Our new and inspired campaign, which you're about to see, turned the Domino's business around. I will say sometimes with the tech, there may be a few issues, so we are going to play the video twice for you guys.
Domino's pizza crust to me is like cardboard.
I hear what some folks are saying about our stuff.
Your sauce tastes like ketchup.
I mean, that hits you right in the heart.
Most companies hide the criticism, and we actually face it head on.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change.
We improved everything. 40% more herbs in the sauce.
New shredded cheese with tons of flavor.
And a new garlic seasoning on the crust. We want everybody to try it. The deal is 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for $5.99 each. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back.
All of it. Not half of it, all of it.
Domino's pizza crust to me is like cardboard.
I hear what some folks are saying about our stuff.
Your sauce tastes like ketchup.
I mean, that hits you right in the heart.
Most companies hide the criticism, and we actually face it head on.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change.
We improved everything. 40% more herbs in the sauce.
New shredded cheese with tons of flavor.
And a new garlic seasoning on the crust. We want everybody to try it. The deal is 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for $5.99 each. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back.
All of it. Not half of it, all of it.
So I hope that everyone was able to see that okay and that it played. So we'll move to the next slide. So not only with that, we also expanded our menu and changed our name to become more than just a pizza company. We innovated around variety. So you see, we now have salads, chicken, pasta, everything that you may need. We also continued to expand menu variety with $5.99. So our mix and match offer of 2 or more items for $5.99 each. And you can stay on this slide for a sec, LaPre. So innovation is in our DNA at Domino's. Some popular innovations that you may have come across are the Domino's Tracker, our loyalty program, Piece of the Pie Rewards, anywhere platforms that allow you to order from all types of devices, and most recent, Neuro, our autonomous delivery vehicle. Next slide, please. So our dominance in innovation has helped us expand our footprint to over 18,000 stores in 91 countries. And we are now the #1 pizza brand in the world. So, I mean, look back in 2008, we were struggling, right? Now the #1 pizza brand in the world. LaPrey, if you can take me to the next slide. And you can go ahead and go to what we offer. So I've told you a little bit about the brand. Now I want to tell you what we offer at Domino's. Next slide. So we provide internships and rotational programs in a wide range of placements across the organization. The next couple of slides, I'll take you through more details into each. So there are internships, our gold program, and our tech rotational program. If you can advance me to the next slide. So in 2022, we are offering summer internships. This will be a 12-week internship for grad and undergrad students. Interns will be given a project to work on throughout the duration of the internship, having the opportunity to present to department executives. There will also be lunch and learns with leadership, volunteer opportunities, and also a mentorship program. So now I'll tell you more about GOLD and what that is. If you can advance me, please. So our GOLD program, Global Operations Leadership Development Program, is an immersive 4.5 years, so 4.5 years of leadership development for recent college graduates designed to prepare and develop our future strategic leaders. There are 6 rotations of increased complexity where participants will learn new skills, overcome challenges, and grow substantially as a leader. Participants can expect to relocate to various states throughout the duration of the program to complete their rotations. Now moving on to the next slide, our technology rotational program. This is a 2-year full-time program with 4 rotations, each approximately 6 months, giving participants a unique blend of technical and leadership development experiences. Rotational areas include e-commerce development, global store technology, business intelligence and analytics, information security, and infrastructure. This program is specifically designed to transform top college graduates into our future IT leaders and technologists. Next slide, please. So as a hiring manager at Domino's, I'd like to give you insight into my perspective. So what's special about Domino's? We are one brand with one focus, and we continue to be a work in progress brand. We're always looking for individuals that are looking to grow with the brand. Ultimately, a hiring manager wants to be able to say yes to these questions that you see on the slide. So, does this person have the skills needed to perform the position? Do they show the ability to relay information in a concise manner? Do they have a track record of successes? Do they handle challenges and or failures well? Do they demonstrate critical thinking skills? Do they show leadership abilities? And do they fit within the company's culture and also that team's culture? So now, since I've shared a little bit about my perspective, I'm going to hand it off to Chris Johnson, who's going to give you some resume tips and tricks. Off to you, Chris.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for telling us about who Domino's is, what the company has to offer, and the hiring manager's perspective. Now I'll give you some tips about your resume and interviewing. We can go to the next slide. A resume is a formal document that summarizes your qualifications, accomplishments, and results. The purpose of a resume is to secure the interview. This allows your prospective employer to match your education and experience with a specific role. Next slide, please. As you are thinking about how to draft your resume or what tweaks might need to be made, here are a few tips. Highlight actions and results and summarize the outputs. Highlight accomplishments and awards from both school and work experiences. List relevant information and put the most important information at the top of the resume. Example would be, I work in IT, but I have a finance degree. So when I apply for the IT positions, I usually list my experience that I have, then my education, so the employers can see that first. Pay attention to errors, grammars, and formatting. If possible, have peers, mentors, or your college career services review your resume. Create multiple versions of your resume tailored to specific roles that you're applying for. And just a side note here, try to keep your resume to 1 page, but if you have the experience that you want to show, 2 pages is also acceptable. So next slide. Now that you have secured the interview, what's next? Next slide. Companies like candidates who know what they want from a job. They are also impressed with someone who has done research before the interview. Being prepared with specific examples of successes and failures will help give you well thought out answers to tough questions. Make good eye contact throughout the interview and be able to articulate what you're looking for in a role. Questions show your interest, but also your thought process, which can give you an advantage above other candidates. Also, remember to send a short thank you note. That goes a long way after an interview. Next slide. There are different types of interviews. So a few of them are task-oriented or testing interviews, situational interviews, behavior interviews. Here at Domino's, we lean towards the behavior interviews. Next slide. Here are a few examples of some behavior type questions that you might hear. Tell me about a time when you adjusted your communication style because of something you knew about your audience. Describe the most difficult task or assignment you completed. Why was it so difficult? What did you do to successfully complete it? Tell me about a time when you wish you handled a situation differently. Next slide. Many companies use behavior-based interviewing today. What hiring managers are looking for when asking a behavior questions is for the interviewer to identify a specific situation and walk them through how they carry it out. Look at your experiences, both positive and challenging, and think of how you would describe them using in full detail the STAR method. The STAR method is, S stands for situation, an event, project, or challenge faced. T stands for task, your responsibility and assignments for that situation. A stands for action, steps or procedures you took to complete the task. R stands for results, the outcome of your actions. Being able to answer an interview question concisely while articulating each of these items will give you an edge. Practice your STAR statement. Be conversational. Be prepared to give examples. And lastly, show the ability to think outside the box. Next slide, please. In today's environment, many companies are using video interviewing in place of in-person meetings. Here are just some tips about video interviewing. Video meetings work better through a laptop versus a mobile app. If you're uncomfortable showing your home environment, you can choose from various backgrounds. Test the link at least 48 hours ahead of time of the interview. Dress professionally. Highlight accomplishments and awards from both school and work experiences. Have your resume and the job description in front of you while interviewing so you can refer to them. Well, hopefully today This information will help you learn about who Domino's is, what we offer as a company, and some tips and tricks on resumes and interviewing. Thank you for your time today and your attention. We will now answer any questions that you have.
Thank you both for that great information. If you have any questions, feel free to add them into the chat and we'll answer them in the order in which they're received. I think it was great information. I'm a father of teenage boys and they love pizza, Domino's being one of their favorite. So I appreciate the $5.99 deals as a parent on a budget. But I will say that the quality has improved. I didn't really think about that until I saw the video. The quality has definitely improved over the years as testament to my kids always wanting it. But also good to consider the fact, that this is all about going beyond the pizza and realizing that there's a lot more to Domino's. As with all companies that exist, the brands tend to overshadow what the hard work that goes into the actual product itself. So I think it's great to kind of hear some of that behind the scenes information and also hear that there's an ERG that exists in the company as well. So thank you again for the information. I think we got our first question here from Joytaya Pollard. Do you need to be out of school for the internships and leadership development opportunities?
I think you're on mute, Shelby. We still can't hear you. Oh, technology. If we can't get your sound, then I can answer that one as well. Do you have it yet, Shelby? Okay, I'll go ahead and answer that. So there are, and we can maybe flip back through a couple of slides, LaPray, if you can.
Can you hear me now?
Actually, yeah, yes. We can.
I am so sorry.
But if you can flip, no, okay, it's okay, Shelby. If you could flip back, if possible, LaPray, keep going, because there is a slide that is super helpful to help understand this a bit more. So that first 2022 summer internship slide. I'm sorry we're having to do this, but I think having a visual will be helpful. So on this slide specifically, it states like the various departments, and there are some that only are for undergrad, and then there are some that are only for MBA and or both, and you'll see that notated here. Shelby, is there anything else that you want to add to this one?
Yeah, so to qualify for the summer internships, you must be returning to school for at least one semester once the internship is complete. So that is just one rule that we have for our summer internships. Now, for the leadership development opportunities for the Gold program, you would have to be graduated from school. So that's something you could, if you graduate in May of 2022, you could start the program in June, but you have to be graduated. And same with the technology rotational program. You have to be graduated to apply and be hired in full time.
Good deal. I think that answers the question very well. All right, so the next question is coming from Stephen Clark. He's asking, how is Domino's working to mitigate disruptions in the supply chain?
Can you actually repeat that one? I lost sound for a second.
Yeah,
can you repeat it?
He's asking the tough questions now. So how is Domino's working to mitigate disruptions in the supply chain?
So I can take a stab at this, and Chris, please feel free to answer as well, since you are in supply chain IT. So across the nation right now, we are seeing various disruptions, not only at Domino's, but in every organization. So to mitigate that, we're really just trying hard to, retain our employees, number one. So making sure that we do everything to do right by our people. One of our values, do the right thing, putting our people first. That is definitely something that we're doing. And there are various shortages. I mean, some of you may be aware of the chicken wing shortage, for example, that's happening across the nation and impacting several restaurant brands, us in particular. So, we work as a team. Domino's is a very collaborative team effort. And so we work cross-functionally to determine how we can mitigate some of the risk. But there are times where we, have to deal with things head on. And at Domino's, we like a challenge, and we're always up to, figuring out ways to work through them but by also providing the best customer service and experience to our consumers. Anything to add to that, Shelby or Chris?
No, that was great answer.
Yeah, that was great. I don't have anything to add.
That was pretty good. Tough question, wasn't too tough. So while we wait for other questions to come in, I did have a quick question or a ask of the team. Can you talk a little bit about the timing as to when you make these selections for the summer internships? I see that the program begins in May, but I would assume right about now you're beginning to look at candidates. Is that about what the time frame looks like? Is it now up until May, or can you talk a little bit about the timing of everything?
Yeah, so all the internships have been posted on our careers page, which is jobs.dominoes.com. I'll add that in the chat. Currently phone screening candidates right now, and we hope to have offers out and accepted by Thanksgiving. So it's a pretty quick process, but like I said, those internships are posted online right now. So if any of those look interesting to you, please feel free to go and apply, and I actually will be the one phone screening a lot of the internships for this coming summer.
Nice.
And something to add to that, we talked about internships today, but there also are entry-level roles that are always open. And you can also refer to jobs.dominoes.com to look into those. So some of those areas that you see on the right, we're always hiring and looking for young professionals that want to grow with the Domino's brand.
That would be a great way to go into the holidays, getting your internship offer, knowing that you're set for the upcoming summer. So definitely want to take advantage of this timing right now and visit jobs.dominoes.com to apply. And you may want to become friends with Shelby in the next 20 minutes or so, because she'll be doing all the talking.
And I also want to add too, right now, just across the nation, there are companies that are hiring. Don't think because we're in a pandemic that they're not hiring. Companies are hiring. We need people. So, whether it's with Domino's or any type of other organization, the time is now. Get your resume out there. Use those tips and tricks that we shared. And I'm pretty sure that something, will eventually open. I know when I was graduating, I have an undergrad and an MBA. I mean, it does take time. So I would say be patient with yourself. Don't give up, but also have an understanding of what you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate, you show that in the interview, and that goes a very, very long way.
Fully agree with that. All right, so we have a question from Clive. If you have a desire for ownership in the future, does it benefit to work for the organization first? Sounds like a franchise question.
Shelby, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I believe I know the correct answer. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have to work for Domino's for at least 1 year in order to enter into our franchise business school. Is that correct? Okay.
Franchise management school. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you'll be trained on how to be one of our franchisees into owning a Domino's store. So you have to work for us for at least 1 year.
So something very interesting about becoming a Domino's franchisee, we're not like other brands where we allow just any type of millionaire with no QSR experience. Like, we want our franchisees to truly be passionate and have a full understanding about the business. So that's why it's really important to have some of that experience and to go through what we call FMS, Franchise Management School, to get up to speed. And also, right now, we actually have a program to bring in more Black franchisees. We've, looked at and analyzed the franchisees that we currently have, and we are not hitting the mark when it comes to our Black franchisees. So there are several programs that we have to try to develop our Black talent that are interested in becoming franchisees.
Good to know. I didn't realize, I didn't really think about the franchise opportunity, but obviously it does exist. And I see that Clive is way ahead of the game. He's beyond internships, going right to owning his own establishment. So I like that progressive thinking. All right, any other questions? I do have another, I guess, just to kind of keep the discussion going while people are thinking about their questions. As it relates to recruiting, obviously you're doing today's webinar through National Black MBA. Do you all ever visit any college campuses to visit schools directly, or is there any larger push to visit some HBCUs to really make sure that individuals are aware of what happens beyond the pizza, if you will, with Domino's?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. I know that one of our goals is to get more involved with HBCUs and get in front of students at those universities. Right now with COVID and how things are, a lot of things have been virtual. So the career fairs that we've been sitting in have been virtual, and we haven't actually been able to go to campus to get in front of those students. But fingers crossed that next year we get that opportunity to actually go and meet with students face to face. But like I said, one of our goals is to get in front of more HBCU universities in the future to let students know about Domino's and what we have to offer.
That's great. Love to hear that. All right. So we definitely have more time available. I don't know if Tamara, you or Chris want to talk about anything additional from any of the slides, or want to go ahead and wrap things up. I'll let you guys determine how we move forward.
So I think one thing that I can add, since we do have additional time, is I think when you are trying to select the company that would be best for you, whether they're, you're interviewing and you're trying to see, is this the right fit for me? I think it's always about, is there opportunity for growth? That is always important and something that you should always consider. So when you're thinking about Domino's, I want to tell you about my growth at Domino's. I've been with Domino's 5 years and I've held 4 positions. So I started out as a field marketing consultant covering our corporate stores in Las Vegas and Salt Lake City. So did some traveling back and forth. And in that role, it was to educate our operators and our leaders in those corporate markets about our national promotions, but also lead local store marketing. So as you've probably seen, typically in the past, you could only get pizza or maybe Chinese delivered. Now you can get just about anything delivered. So past years, we could just kind of refer to our national marketing. It kind of did what we needed it to do, if I should say. But now we're having to pull into other areas and really focus more on that local store marketing. So my first position was really focused on educating on the national side and then coming up with plans for local store marketing for all of the corporate stores in Las Vegas and Salt Lake City. Then I transitioned. You'll notice like we have field positions and we have corporate positions at our World Resource Center that's located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So with that, I took a role because I saw that there were more opportunities for growth if I moved to the World Resource Center. So I took a more activation type role as a specialist. So working cross-functionally with all the teams across the organization to launch our national promotions. When you see the menu boards in stores, I led that. And then also led our print campaigns in that role. Then I went back to the more corporate side of the business, supporting our corporate stores we did a small restructure, and I had some coordinators report up to me, and we handled from the WRC the local store marketing for our, I think we're about at 368 corporate stores. So I led that team. Then most recently, I just transitioned to a manager of national advertising and activation. So in this role, I am managing the cross-functional team that launches all of our products and everything that you see on TV. So I work with every department within the organization to successfully and flawlessly launch our campaigns. And also with that, I cover out of home, so billboards, print, digital menu boards. So a lot falls within my bucket. But I wanted to say all of this to say there's definitely opportunity for growth. Not trying to sell you here. I wanted to actually tell you about my experiences. It's all about truly, coming, showing that you're capable of doing the work, because there's definitely opportunity out there. And I think take that same approach, whether that's with Domino's or any other company, show that you're capable. So you can always do your job, but it's about stretching and showing that you're capable of doing the next job. Always have the mentality of dress for the job that you want. Do the things in the job that you want. Show that you're capable of doing those, so they know when those roles open up that you can, kind of slide right in. And then we didn't really talk about this earlier, but our World Resource Center, again, Ann Arbor, Michigan, prior to COVID, we were pretty much an office environment where we were there 5 days a week. But the pandemic has shown our leadership that we are capable of having more of a flex policy. So now, and this could change at some point, but how we will be moving starting January 4th is that Tuesdays and Thursdays will be office days. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be flex, and you will have the opportunity to work from home or whatever, you see fits best for you and your schedule. But again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, office days. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you have the opportunity to either work from home. If you choose to go to the office, feel free to do so, but really trying to provide more flexibility for employees at Domino's.
And Tamara, the internships that you mentioned earlier, are those remote or those will be in person?
Those are right now.
Go ahead, Shelby.
It's up in the air right now on those. Okay. It could be either way.
Okay, gotcha. I guess there's still some time before May gets here, so yeah. I understand that. Okay.
Just to chime in.
So one thing real quick, Chris, with some of those, we mentioned that there are various rotations in various states. So operations, for example, you could do a stint in Las Vegas, then potentially you're in another market. So not necessarily at the WRC for some of those specifically operations. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh man, you messed up my transition. No, I was going to go on with the flexibility portion of it. Just remember to be flexible in your careers. My career path has not taken one straight direction. My history is I was in the military. I got a finance degree, worked at a bank, and then started in IT. And now moving into hopefully leadership in IT. And Domino's definitely provided that opportunity for me to grow in this space, in this in the IT field. So just be flexible and be open to different challenges that's going to come your way.
And Chris, how long have you been with Domino's? How long have you been with the company?
I've been with the company about 3 years now.
Okay, gotcha. And Shelby, I think it's only right that you share a little bit about your trajectory as well.
Yeah, so I've been with Domino's for 3 years and 2 days, and on October 15th. I started as an assistant to one of the vice presidents in human resources. At the same time, I was getting my MBA online in HR management and marketing. I thought that marketing was going to be that next step for me. But Domino's has a lot of opportunities, and I landed a role recently on the talent acquisition team. I think I've been enrolled for a little over a month now, doing that early career recruiting. So for our internships, for our rotational programs, as well as university relations. So connecting with our universities and getting in front of students. So yeah, Domino's has endless opportunities. I recommend Domino's to all my friends and family. We don't just have great pizza. I love the people I work with, and I can't recommend them enough. So
it's great to hear just the three different trajectories that you all took. And I think it really provides a good lesson. And, you may start out in one direction or think that you know what your path will be. And then life or just experiences really, show you different roads to go down, different things that may interest you or pique your or actually match up with your skill sets even more than you may have thought. So great to hear just the variety of ways in which you all started and now where you are currently. So there was a question.
And something else I would like to add. I did see the question pop up, but like something that I think is very unique about Domino's. So prior to Domino's, I worked for Caesars Entertainment. So I was in the casino industry and did strategic marketing for them. Very big organization, right? Typically, when the CEO is presenting to you, you are on like this. And this was before the pandemic. You would never have any face-to-face, shaking hands, conversation with anyone from leadership. Domino's, complete opposite. On my first day, I was able to shake the hand of the CEO. It's a very open door policy, and I think lots of companies say that, but they truly hear and value the input of everyone. So there's never a time where I feel uncomfortable with having just a conversation in the hallway with one of the executive leadership team members, just because you can, and it is that type of environment. So I think that's important too.
It's funny you say that because I have a very similar story. When I was attending a meeting when they had the inclusive diversity meetings. And right after the meeting, I got a phone call and I looked at him, the CFO. He just called me out of the blue. He attended the meeting. He thanked me for my input. And, I got a chance to speak with the CFO directly, so that was just awesome to think that they reach out to you, as a Domino's employee.
Yep. And I know sometimes getting those CFO calls may not always be a good thing. So that definitely was a good thing.
I had to check to make sure I was dressed appropriately.
Love to hear.
I know sometimes when I get those leadership calls, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I being called into the principal's office? Is it something bad, good? You never know, right?
Exactly. All right, so we do have a question from Stephen Clark. He's asking if you can speak more on the value add Domino's offers with pricing and promotions.
Yeah, so you probably see across majority of quick service restaurants, they're always doing LTOs, limited time offers. So these aggressive offers that are sometimes great, right? But they don't last a long time. With Domino's, we are about providing our customers value and long-term value. So for example, our week-long carry-out deal, so that started as just a midweek deal. So Monday through Thursday, we would offer large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99. We have evolved that drastically. So it went from Monday through Thursday, large 3-topping pizzas, $7.99, to then all week long, large 3-topping pizzas. Now you can get any crust. We've added wings to that. We just launched a new product that you may have seen on TV recently, our oven-baked dips and twist combos. You can actually get that now too for $7.99 each. So we are continuing to evolve our national promotions. And then also on top of that is our $5.99 mix and match. So you can get a large 2-topping pizza or a few of our sides for $5.99 each for carry out or delivery. We're always looking into the margins and profit. So, not saying that there never will be changes, but we like to keep these and constantly offer our value to our consumers.
Awesome. That's a great one. And I think Stephen has a follow-up question for you now. For the marketers on the panel, how does Domino's work to position itself to provide the most reciprocal value to customers?
Can you elaborate on that one just a bit more? I want to make sure that I am answering that one correctly.
Let's see if he'll add some more.
Are they?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know if they can take themselves off mute or is it just chat?
Yes, it'll just be chat. Let me see if I can go in
Okay.
here and get Stephen. Yep, I'm gonna allow you to talk, Stephen. If you're able and willing, you can come off of mute yourself and go ahead and provide some more context to your question.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you all giving us the opportunity and learning about this panel. I was really excited because I see a lot of the promotions and pricing and offerings Domino's is doing. My question was regarding to like the market segmentation, how you all target the market. When it came to positioning of that, I wanted to know some of the things, especially with Domino's being a technology heavily influenced company now, what are some of the things that after you segment and target your markets, how do you position yourself to provide the most reciprocal value to the customers? So it was kind of going off of the previous question I asked, but I wanted to know kind of the marketing strategies per se. Well, you don't have to give me those, but just how do you all position yourself since it's kind of harder to quantify, just your perspective on it, especially being marketers?
Yeah, so to kind of add, we are, I would say, in very urban and rural markets. So for our corporate stores, we tend to be in more urban locations. Just to list off a few of our corporate markets. So you have Las Vegas, Houston, Phoenix, Arizona, South Florida. So more urban Hispanic areas. Whereas we do have some rural markets that our franchisees have as well. So with that, I would say that we pretty much impact everyone at every age. So there's not a specific age bracket that we, target against. Like we know that we are available for single family homes with our side items. But we can also provide menu variety and, be able to take care of those larger family homes too. We're constantly looking into market segmentation to understand the needs of our consumers. So always work that's continuing to be done. But for now, we're not saying, oh, we just want to target this specific demographic. We open our arms to all.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you elaborate.
Of course. Thank you for getting off of mute and speaking up. I know sometimes in this, current work environment, there might be noise in the background and all of that. So I appreciate you speaking up on that one and providing some additional context.
Right. So I don't see any additional questions. I think now we would just begin to start to wrap up. Unless you guys have some final thoughts or comments, I will allow you to have the floor, but I do want to provide a quick moment to Shelby to provide a special announcement.
Yeah, so before this event kicked off at noon, I took a list of all the attendees and randomly chose 5 winners on Google, a random name picker. And these 5 winners listed on the next slide are going to receive an email from me with a Domino's e-gift card of $25. So congratulations to all these winners. Maybe you can try some of our new dips with our twists. But I will send those emails shortly after this presentation ends. So congratulations.
Congratulations. That just made me really hungry for some reason. I don't know why. So Sunday has her hand raised, and I'm gonna allow you the chance to ask your question aloud. Sunday, if you want to come off mute, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you guys, for the opportunity. I would like to find out, how do we apply, for these positions? And my second question is, if you are in a line of work, let's say I'll use myself, I'm an accountant, and I'm trying, to pivot into cybersecurity or information security. How is that possible with Domino's, and how do I go about that?
So I direct everyone to jobs.dominoes.com for our internships, for our rotational programs, and for any entry level and all positions open at Domino's. We update that daily. So everything you see on there is up to date and current of open positions. One of my recommendations for you coming into Domino's and possibly looking at another avenue to take, we do offer or connect with different mentors within Domino's. If you were to come in through accounting, connect with people in cybersecurity to get some insight on what they do day to day, or even sit beside them at their desk and see what their projects look like, or the meetings they sit in on. That would be my recommendation. I know that when I was interested in possibly going into marketing within Domino's, I connected with our social media specialist, and I would connect with her every other week just to get insight on the project she was working on, some tips and tricks to connect and network with different team members within marketing. And I actually connected with Tamra, and she helped me get in front of some people in marketing to get me some experience. So that's one way that I would recommend looking at different avenues to take within your career at Domino's. Is there anything else that
I can also chime in here. So I think it's super important to think about your current skill set and how that can translate to where you're trying to go, and ensuring that you tailor your resume to those positions that you're applying for. So just because you may not necessarily have that experience, there may be skills that you've already obtained that can transfer to that position. So think through that a bit and tailor your resume to the positions that you're applying for.
I can maybe offer a little bit of insight on that. Cybersecurity is one of those things where they look for people with a lot of IT experience also. So you might want to see what employers are looking for and what experience they're looking for, and try to take the pathway that's going to help you get that experience. So when you apply for those cybersecurity jobs, that your resume is competitive with the other people out there. So it might not be a straight path sometimes, but just know that there is a pathway there in for you. So
there's one more question, or there's two more questions. There's one hand raised and one question that was in the Q&A. So we'll go to the Q&A question first from Clive. How would having an engineering background be utilized within Domino's?
Shelby, do you want to take it, or would you like me to take it?
You can go ahead and take it and I'll chime in if I have anything to add. I don't want to answer this incorrectly.
So, I mean, of course, there's various types of engineers, right? We have development teams, people that are, working to, get our stores off the ground. We also have supply chain centers. So there are engineers in our centers that are constantly coming up with new ways to evolve our supply chain centers. So depending on the type of engineer would kind of determine, the various positions that would be opportunities for you.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. I had one question that just was killing me. I remember reading an article a few weeks ago. And it was with the CEO, and he was talking about the third-party delivery services. And I recently saw one of your promotions where they were doing, if you order delivery, you receive a free, you may get a 7% chance you may receive like a free prize or free food or something associated with that as a promotion for that. I wanted to know, especially with a lot of other food chains or any type of business going towards those 3PL systems or those third-party delivery systems, why Domino's has chosen not to go that route, and what value do they have choosing to keep it in-house compared to going with those third-party delivery services that are very popular?
Great question, and good job keeping up with the brand. So we are known and have always been known as delivery experts. We are touching our product and involved with the process from beginning to end. When you work with third-party aggregators, you don't know who's going to show up at your door or, what your food might look like when it gets there. So with Surprise Freeze, this new ad, we wanted to combat against the aggregators and show consumers that they're being charged all of these surprise fees, but instead, Domino's, we give you surprise freeze. So when you order from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, you're going to see not only a delivery fee, but probably an additional fee on top of that. Just to give you an example, I was trying to order from TF Chains, and it was like an additional $20 on top of my tab. So what we're doing is offering surprise freeze to 1 in 14 digital delivery customers. So when you order digital delivery, there's a chance that you might get lava cake, stuffed cheesy bread, or an additional pizza. We really want to, be able to show our customers like we're here for them. And then this was also a 360 campaign. So we're doing various things to support our mom and pop businesses that also have had to work with these aggregators because there's a need for delivery, right? But they're being charged these fees too. So not only is the consumer being charged, but the business is as well. So we're working with various restaurants across the nation, and we're giving their gift cards to our consumers. So we're saying not only are we giving out these surprise frees, but we want you to go directly to this restaurant and order with them using this gift card that we are of course paying for. So definitely a 360 campaign. I'm happy that you have heard about it, but you definitely all should order digital delivery for your chance to win a surprise free, and or try out our new product, Oven Baked Dips and Twists, which you can get with our week-long carryout offer for $7.99 each.
Awesome.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I think someone did a really great SWOT analysis on that and turned the threat into an opportunity. And I look forward to seeing the Q4 report to see the benefits of this promotion you guys are running.
Yes, yes. And I appreciate you keeping up with the business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Great questions all throughout the entire presentation. You had some good questions. I'm glad that you're able to actually, speak and get some back and forth with the panel here today. So thank you for those questions. As we are approaching the last couple of minutes, I want to thank our colleagues at Domino's for joining us this afternoon and sharing great information about the company as a whole, and also, what's happening beyond the pizza. I keep throwing that out there because it's kind of the title of today's webinar, but I think it's fitting. But yeah, again, thank you very much for the content. For those that are on the call, this will be recorded and archived and added to our YouTube channel, so you'll have a chance to review the entire webinar as well. If you want to connect with Shelby or Tamara or Chris, I'm sure you can drop a note in the chat, and they'll probably be happy to connect with you and answer any additional questions you may have. But I do want to yield to Shelby, Tamara, and Chris to close us out.
Yeah, so I want to start by saying, thank you for this opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, I am an HBCU graduate, so connecting with students from HBCUs is extremely important to me. I wish you all the best in all of your future endeavors. I can also drop my email address in the chat, and I can also be found on LinkedIn. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'll drop my email information in the chat also. Reach out to me if you have any IT questions or anything like that. I'll be happy to answer them.
Yes, and thank you everyone for joining today. I have already included my email in the chat. Also connect with me on LinkedIn and reach out if you have any questions on internships or any of those rotational programs. And the 5 winners of the gift cards, I've already sent those emails out, so you should have received them. And enjoy some Domino's tonight.
And LaPrae, I'm looking forward to connecting with you more to see, what we can bring forth to the organization. So looking forward to continued partnership.
Absolutely. We have several HBCU schools that are partners of ours, so we'd love to make some connections there for you as well. And again, on behalf of National Black MBA, thank you again, Domino's, for the time and the great information. As I mentioned, I will have this posted to our YouTube channel for later viewing. If you have any questions, of course, you can contact our colleagues at Domino's directly. But otherwise, I wish you all a great rest of your afternoon, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.